Yo, so today I'm going to record a little bit extraordinary tutorial. It will be a bit longer than usual, than my usual tutorials. I'm going to write a code for Tic Tac game. So I've seen many versions of this code. Um, I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. I'm going to use small functions. Pretty sure that this code can be improved. I just want to make it from scratch. So let's rock. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to create an array. I want to work with an array. So let's say it will be a game board. It will be an empty array. I have a spelling mistake. Now I want to make it a 3-on-3 array, okay? Because in classic tic-tac-toe game we have 9 numbers only. So let's say board limit would be equal to 9. Okay. By the way, in my opinion, the most important thing before you approach to build a code is you have to build it in your head. You have to create the logic behind this code. Otherwise, it will be harder for you to work with the complicated codes. Alright, so now I want to create this board. Right, I think we need another thing. We need a counter. Should be equal to 0, and as long as the counter is lower than the board limit, what I'm going to do is game board. I want to append the numbers inside of it, and now we're going to do, let's do it inside these square brackets. Okay. Okay, let's see. And we want to increase the counter. Okay, so let's see if this part works. Print. We want to print the game board. Okay, so we have now an array with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers. Now we actually want to make it more visual. I want to print it three numbers each line. Okay. You know what? Another step that we should create before building the board is actually let's do something nice. Let's say that we have 2 players and we want to get their names. Okay, so as long as the condition will be true, say the first player name input, please enter the first player name. Okay. I want to add another condition in case if the user won't provide any name. I don't care in this case if the name will be numeric or a string. If you want to take this code and improve it, you can add additional conditions. In my case, I'm only going to check if a name was provided. In case if not, okay, name cannot be empty. Right. Otherwise, say hello. Okay. We will get a nice message, hello, and the first name. I think we should actually space is not really important here. Okay, and we want to exit the while loop. Okay, well, we can add another, and let's save time. Okay, I want to do the same for the second player. You can improve it. You can do it with the function. Please enter the second player name, print name cannot. Okay. Second. Okay. Now let's see if the code works so far. Dave, hello Dave, please enter the second player name, Alex. Okay, so far so good. Now let's say we want to make a nice message for whoever plays this game. I don't know if you are familiar with the long string printing. If not, maybe I will make additional tutorial only for the long string. Okay, so let's write down the instructions. You see a game board with 9 numbers inside brackets. Of the cell. And let's say you can see the table below right now. Okay. Now let's think. Okay. Okay, since we are going each turn we are going to show the board again and again. I want to build a function. Let's name it show status. Show status. X will be 0. I'm thinking, since I'm thinking about the way how to print three elements from the string per line. Okay, for each number in the game board, if x is lower than 3, I want to print the number, and they will be separated by space, else we want to break a new line. We want to print the new row in the new line, and since we want to output a number, we have to cast string, and again it will be separated by space. Okay, once it will be done, we want to declare x as 0. All right. And as long as we did not reach the else condition, we want to increase x by 1. Okay, let's see what happens now. I just want to call this function. Alright, so as you can see, we have now a nice board. And just think, I'm going to add here new line, because we're going to output this board each turn, so I want to make a space between them. Yeah. Okay. So as we said, you can see the table below right now. So we have the table. Now we have the second part of this code, which is pretty complicated. So the first thing we need to do is create first player flag. It will be equal to 1 second player flag. It will be equal to 0. Let me explain why I'm doing it. I just want to make something inside my code that will recognize who is playing right now. Okay, so by default the first player will start the game. Once he will finish his turn, the flag will be defined as 0 for the first player, and the second player will be defined as 1. You can do the same with boolean, true and false. I'm doing it with 1 and 0, which for me is the same. We need also another array, not allowed indexes. Why I'm doing this? Because let's say player 1 put x here now, here and here, and player 2 want to put now the 0 in this in index number 4. If I want check it, he will be able to put he will be able to overwrite the first player's x. So I'm just creating here an empty array where I'm going to save these indexes. Now the second function that I'm going to create is actually checking all the wins combinations. Okay, so what I'm talking about, the first combination which will allow us to win is 0, 1, 2. Once a player put 3 X's here, he's going to win the game. Same goes for this line, for this line, for this row, and for this line, okay? So what I'm going to do now is create a function to check all these combinations. Check win. I think it will be a little bit long, but if you have another idea which is actually possible, you can create it on your own way with a function, for example. Okay, so let's say the first thing I want to check is that game board. Let me copy it because we're going to use it now many times. So 0 equals to X, and I'm actually going to copy all this. And this and this. So the first combination, okay. Now I think we're going to we will need another pair of brackets because we want to separate all the possible wins with OR operator. Let's do it even quicker now. The second combination will be 3, 4, and 5. 3, 4, 5. Actually, the OR can stay here. Another one is 6, 7, 8. Or for some reason I have a syntax error, colon expand. Okay, we will fix it. Now, where is the first bracket? Okay, so we finished with the last line. So now it's 0, 3, 6, 0, 3, 6, or 1, 4, 7, 1, 4, 7, or 2, 5, 8, 2, 5, 8, and last two combinations will be 0, 4, 8, and 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, and let's think. think something is missing. Interesting. No idea. This one. Okay. And once we'll run it, we will see the error. It's fine. Now we want to do the same for the O. I'm going to copy all this code because the difference will be here. And let me just move it a little bit. For sure I have some kind of error here. I will fix it. Okay, so the only difference will be here. I'm going to replace X by O. Let me think, where's the mistake? Never mind. Just forgot to add something else. In case if one of these conditions will be true, I want to print first player won the game, and I want to return true, else let's copy paste it. Second player. Let me run it. I think okay, I think it's okay now. Yeah, by the way, I clicked by mistake on enter. As you can see, it threw a message that the name cannot be empty. Okay, now let's create the last part, which is actually calling each time the board, change the player's flags, and check the wind combinations. So let's start with the first player. If the first player flag equals to 1, it means that it's his turn. If it's first player turns, if it's the first player's turn, then we need to change. Okay, let's do it with the first name first. With the first player flag, we need to change the first player flag to 0 and the second player flag to 1. Okay, so we're doing sort of switch. Now we want to we want to request a value from the user to fill one of these cells. Let's call it new value input player 1, let's say. Please choose SL number. Okay. Now, in this case, it is important for us to make sure that the provided number by the user will be integer and not string. So in this case, I'm going to check if the value is numeric. So if int, I'm going to convert it to integer. Wait. You know what? Let's forget about it in this case. The first thing I'm going to do is check if this number is part of the not allowed indexes. Okay. And let's print a message. Cell not allowed, already used. Please try another cell. Okay. Else. Game board. Want to update the cell number. I need to cast int, and which cell we want to update, the one with the index that was provided by the user. Okay, with the string x. Okay, also once it was done, we want to add this string to the not allowed array. Okay, and then we want to check the wins. Okay, if each turn we want to see if we got any of these possible combinations to win this game. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is call the status to see the board status. And by the way, I did only here if check wins, because once I'm going to execute the check wins, okay, it is going to check all these combinations, and if one of these combinations is true, it's going to return true. So if it be true, if we do have one of the combinations, we will receive a message who won this game, and we will see the status on the board, and we want to break in this point the code completely. Okay, and if no one won the game, we want to show the status anyway. Okay, now the second part of the if condition is the same. Let me copy. I think we need to copy all this part. I just want to save time. Oops. It will be just the opposite here. If wait, it's not correct. I need to copy all this. Okay, so in this case we want to do the opposite. First player again 1, second player 0, player 2 please provide, please try again. We want to put O, and that's it. Let's run it, and I think it will be the end of this pretty complicated code. David, Alex. Okay, player 1, and please choose a cell number. Okay, and we can add another message, maybe in the instructions, that player 1 is X and player 2 is O. But let's just check if it works. Okay, I want to put my X in, let's see, 4. Right, as you can see, it was updated. By the way, let's try for player 2 to try and put the O instead of the X. So I'm using again the index 4. Cell not allowed, already used, please try another. So right, it works. So let's put the O in the second cell. Oops. Okay, I see there is an issue here, and the issue is that if one of the players playing, and I try to use an index which is not allowed, instead of retrying again, it switched to the second player. Let's think where we can improve it. If check wins, wait, else. Let's try to do something like this. While okay, let's do some internal, and let's make it a little bit ugly, but it should work. Well, true. Maybe it will be better to use while. I'm going to skip this part, but the idea is to make a condition here which will repeatedly check in case if this part fails. Okay, it should repeat this step. Okay, so I have to add another while loop here, which will continuously going to ask for a cell from a user. Okay, instead of continue running this code. I want to run this code again. Let's do 0, 3. Let's do it 1. Okay, 6, and let's try the second cell and see if we get a win message. First player won the game. Nice. So the code pretty works, but I'm pretty sure that you can add here many conditions to improve this game, such as this little problem that we found, different kind of maybe try catches. I will attach links for the try catch in case if you don't know how to use it. All this ugly part, I bet you can improve it with the function. The rest, I think it's basic logic. So I hope you understood the code, I hope you like the code, and if you can improve it or have any ideas, you're welcome to leave a comment. So see you in the next tutorial.